Hello again, this is Joe Azizalahoff, the Oriental Carpet Book author. Today I'd like to just spend a minute or two on fine weave, the importance of weave in carpets. Weave is probably the second most important aspect besides color, I would say, about carpets. Weave is extremely important. It is really a very important part of the essence of the carpet. In the old rug trade, we always marvel at the fineness of certain antique carpets. And we always add value by mentioning how fine carpets are. It's always a great plus. Fineness of weave is the skill of the rug. It is really the internal coat of the carpet, and it really leads to the longevity of the carpet. It's largely responsible for the tremendous life expectancy of the carpet. Carpets can last 100 years, 150 years, no problem. In heavy traffic too. We have ample proof of this from the case of the what's so-called American saruk. This is the classical Persian saruk, which has an amazing story. I can briefly just tell you right now. It was one of the most popular rugs imported into the United States starting around 1920. All the department stores carried it. It's still alive in the homes. When I do appraisals, it's the carpet I mostly see. I don't have an example of it here, but you can Google it. It's called the Saruk, S-A-R-O-U-K. This goes under the nickname the American Saruk because it was such a fixture. And by the way, when I do appraisals and I go to homes, that's the room-size carpet. If anybody has old rugs today, that's generally the room-size carpet that I see, still standing there. It has an amazing, unbelievable story behind it. It's too detailed to go into right now. But I will say this, it's an indestructible carpet. It's woven gold. It's gold because of its durability. Unbelievable longevity. It's gone through so many processes over the years because it was actually painted here at one time in the United States, in Jersey City, and I think in another location. Painted by American housewives because they wanted it to be a plum or burgundy color, but they wove it in a rust color. So ultimately, it ended up having to be painted here. It's a shame that that's what happened, and then now they're getting stripped and they're being sold. They strip the colors out. It strips to a beautiful salmon color. It's a long story, but the reason I mentioned the saruk is because that is an example of woven gold. An indestructible rug, 80, 90 years old, full pile. Lots of them are still full pile, 80, 90 years old, heavy traffic. Unbelievable. The weave is incredibly, I wouldn't say extremely fine, it's probably about 150 to 200 knots per square inch. So it's not particularly fine, but the wool and just the materials in it, and of course the workmanship of the carpet. But I'm going to leave that for another time to show some pictures, if I can get them, of the American saruk. But you can Google it as I say. I'm just going to show you quickly a couple of fine weaves from, one is from India. And you can see here, this is about 150 knots per inch, I would say roughly. And you can see from the fineness of the knot how this rug, I've seen rugs similar to this in homes. It's not, I would say it's not quite as durable as many of the Persian rugs like the saruk and the Karaman and Tabriz, but this is in India and these are very, very durable too. This is the face of the rug you're seeing. This is an unusual piece, but I use it as an example. I've seen these rugs in homes. I've done appraisals of rugs similar to this. Seen them 50 years, heavy traffic, living room, and holding up very well. Not quite as well as the Persian saruk, for instance, which will probably last 3 times that length. But the Indian carpets are fabulous too, and many of them are finer than that, and we don't even know, the jury is still out on how long they can last. But unfortunately, we live in a disposable society. Everything's disposable today. Everybody is moving. They want temporary rugs and so forth. It's a real pity because they're losing out on the magnificence of the weave and the miracle of the rug in its longevity on the floor. And here's another one. This is a Persian Karaman, circa 1920. I'm just going to show you the back. And here's a very fine weave. I would say maybe it's up to about, perhaps about 200 knots per inch. At least about 150 knots, and it yields a beautiful antique Persian Cameron carpet like this. Symmetry, beautiful colors, balance, fineness of weave. So, in conclusion, I just want to say that, again, that the weave is very, very important. Incidentally, you can tell the knot count of the rug by taking a quarter and putting it on the back of the rug where the knots are. You know, from the back, turn it over, not the pile side, the back side. Put a quarter on the back. A quarter is 1 square inch. And in that 1 square inch, you just measure those little colored nubs, those little nodes. And each color, in most carpets, and almost all rugs that are sold today, India, Pakistan, China, Iran, each nub, each colored nub represents 1 knot. I go into this in my book, but it's very easy to count the knots. And I always stress to my clients and others, try to get a rug about 150 knots per inch or above. And then you're standing with a rug that really will be something that's intergenerational, and you can pass it on to your children and grandchildren. And it's a living testimonial to their ancestors, to their taste, and it's a loving memorial in families. It's an amazing thing to see families grow up on rugs, and I've seen them. They just don't even want to part with them. Even though I want to try to give them a new piece, they just don't want to part with them because they've been through so many memories with that particular rug. Thanks again for watching.